açılış sunumlarımızı bitirdik. Şimdi eğer sohbetler de biterse kısaca sunum ve ardından panel oturumuna geçiyoruz. Şimdi Eduard, Uluslararası Finans Kurumu Türkiye Yeşil Binalar Projesi Direktörü Eduard Yakubov. Kendisini buraya bekliyorduk ama uygun olmadığı için gelemedi ama kendisi canlı yayınla bize Polonya ve Rusya'da bina enerji verimliliği iyileştirmeleriyle ilgili deneyimlerini kısaca aktaracak. Ardından da kısa bir eğer soru varsa soru cevap kısmından sonra panel kısmına geçeceğiz. Ben lafı yine uzatmadan Eduard'a bırakıyorum sözü.
Yes, thank you, Nas. Good afternoon, everyone. I thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to present in front of you, and I apologize that I cannot be with you in person. I will present for about 10 and 15 minutes, and in my presentation, I will talk about international experience in financing energy efficiency retrofits of multi-family buildings. And I actually want to talk about two countries' experiences. One is in Poland, and the other one is in Russia. But before I do this, let me share with you that our international experience shows that an effective model that accommodates financing of energy efficiency retrofits in multi-family buildings has to have three main elements, and you can see them on the screen in front of you. The first one is that there has to be funding coming from the homeowners of multi-family buildings, in other words, from people who live in apartments. The second element is that there has to be in place commercial financing from banks. So banks are able to provide loans in order to finance energy efficiency retrofits. And the third element is that there has to be a government support, financial support, in order to incentivize and otherwise help homeowners to finance these retrofits. In other words, all these three elements need to be in place in order for the financing of energy efficiency retrofits take place. That's, in a nutshell, what our international experience shows. And I know that Turkey today has taken on a path of developing all of these three mechanisms, three elements. So I want to share with you an experience from Poland. Now, what Poland has done is that it has created a government fund. It's called State Thermal Modernization Fund. And that fund basically provides financial support to homeowners who take on a loan in order to finance thermal modernization of their multifamily building. We primarily talk about wall insulation, roof insulation, and basically making building more energy efficient. Now, that financial support that comes from the fund is in the form of money that goes to reduce the principal amount of a loan. And that reduction can be as high as 20%. So that's how government in Poland accommodated financial support to homeowners. Now, in Poland, there are also a number of banks that provide loans to homeowners associations that decide to do retrofits. And I must tell you that these loans are on a fully commercial basis. And the third element is that the homeowners who decide to do these retrofits and they want to receive government support, they need to achieve at least 25% of actual energy consumption in order to be able to receive support from the state fund. In other words, when they take the loan, they do retrofits, they need to show that they've reduced their energy consumption by 25%, and then they get the money from the State Thermal Modernization Fund. I want to show you some figures in terms of what Poland has achieved in about 5 years for the period from 1999 to 2004. So basically, the total value of energy efficiency improvements that have been done to multifamily buildings reached about $3.5 billion. Of that amount, about 80%, $2.6 billion, has been financed by bank loans. In other words, people went and received bank loans in order to do these retrofits. Now, in exchange, they received support from the state fund in the amount of roughly $500 million. And all these retrofits resulted in energy savings, actual energy savings, of about $250 million per year. So that's, in a nutshell, what the program has been able to accomplish. And in my view, that's quite impressive. Think of it from this perspective. Government spent roughly $500 million, $479 million. In exchange, it was able to facilitate retrofits in the amount of $3.5 billion. That's a leverage of 1-to-7 ratio. And of that money, they were able to facilitate bank financing of roughly $2.5 billion. That's 1-to-5. Quite impressive with what $1 of government money can do in order to facilitate retrofits and attract private capital. I want to finish up with this Polish experience by summarizing what, in our view, has been, a main set of success factors. Number one, this program has been successful because homeowners were willing to do retrofits in buildings. I know in Turkey today, the awareness about homeowners needs improvement. Some people realize, some people may not know how to do this. But experience shows that if people are willing to do this, then the rest will come into the place. The second component is that there have been banks that are willing to provide financial products in order to do these retrofits. And the third element is that there's been a very strong government support in the form of that state thermal modernization fund that incentivized people to actually do and go have these retrofits. Now, all of this has been very important, but what's been equally important, and in my view, if not more important, is the fact that there's been a systematic work on raising awareness about the homeowners in terms of the benefits of energy efficiency retrofits. So people really need to understand that if they do these retrofits, how much money are they going to save? What level of comfort are they going to live? How much the property will increase in price? All these things which seem or may seem obvious to you and to me are not necessarily obvious to regular homeowners. So a systematic effort to raise awareness, to educate homeowners about the importance and economic benefits of energy efficiency in their buildings, I would say one of the most important things, particularly for the country that is just beginning to do these retrofits. I want to give you a quick insight as to how these energy efficiency retrofits are being implemented in Russia. Now, in Russia, recently, a whole new system of these retrofits has been put in place. And a key element of that system is that there's been a mandatory payment for future capital or energy efficiency renovation that's been introduced by law. So in Russia, if you own a flat in multi-family building, every month you have to pay a certain amount of money that will be used to do retrofits in your building. I know in Turkey that's not mandatory. I know in many other countries that's not mandatory. But in Russia, they decided to institute this payment. So everyone now has to pay for future renovation. Commercial banks. At the early stage of developing, there have been a few banks that are offering financial products to do energy efficiency retrofits, mostly for homeowners associations, but industry in itself has not yet embarked on it fully. So we're working closely with banks in order to make this product more, prevalent throughout the banking industry, more accessible to regular homeowners. And the government has been developing state support measures. And these measures basically consist of two forms. One, they provide co-financing. In other words, if homeowners spend a certain amount of money, government will co-finance a portion of it. And two, they provide interest rate subsidy on the loan that homeowners take in order to do retrofits in the buildings. So that's in a nutshell. I've given you two examples of Poland that has made quite a journey into the successful implementation of energy efficiency retrofits in buildings, and Russia, which has just started. I know that many of these things would be are relevant for Turkey, and I look forward to discussing this with you. This is it for my presentation, and I will turn over to Ahmet and to Nas to answer any questions or any discussion points that you may have. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Eduard. And I'll just ask the audience if they have any questions. Eduard'a bir sorunuz var mı? Yok. Okay, there's no question, Eduard. So thank you so much for your presentation and for your participation. And have a good day.
My pleasure. Thank you, everyone, and I wish you a fruitful day. Goodbye now.